Hey guys, welcome back to the Casual Athlete. It's Biz here. Today I'm going to go through the number one key fantasy performance from all of this weekend's preseason games. First up, we've got big bad Xavier Willison from the Broncos playing in the All-Stars game. How good was he to watch? I don't know how the Broncos keep churning out these big boppers, but 100 meters, almost bagged, a couple of great tries. Look, this is one guy you have to have in your team if he's named round one. He's just getting better and better. He got some bench performances where he's pretty strong last year. They've lost Flegler to the Dolphins. The Brisbane pack isn't as firm outside of Haas and Carrigan in the middle as you'd think. This is a guy who might be a slow burn for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks. He might score you 20, 25. He might pop off for a try and get you a big score. But watch for him to really step up in the origin period when the Brisbane middles, Haas and Carrigan were playing for the Blues in Queensland. He could get a big role then. He could be this year's Wiramu Greg. So dual position as well at 263K. If he's not in your team, I reckon he's almost a must-have if he's named round one. Now from the next game, we've got, let's go, Sam Hughes from the Dogs, another cheap forward. Now he was one of the best on the park. He started at prop this week. Doggies didn't have great middles last year. They've recruited Curran to potentially play lock. They've got Salmon who played at lock on the weekend. Sam Hughes was a great performance at base price. Now, what I like about Sam Hughes is he does have a pedigree for fantasy scoring. He was a good scorer in reserves. He also has good PPM when he plays first grade. Look for him to kind of get 40, 50 minutes if he gets named round one, and he could be a 35, 40-point scorer. He's someone I'm really excited about, and if he's named, again, in my team. Great performance for preseason week one. Keen to see him next week. After that, from the Knights and Sharks game, we've got my boy Dylan Lucas. Now, this bloke, he's not a must-have because he's an awkward 558K price, and he does have competition for spots. He's got Kai Pearce-Paul and a bunch of other, Brody Jones, etc., biting at his heels. But I liked what I saw. 48 points in a half of football, 2 tries. He's a guy who has a high work rate, but also knows how to find the line. I'm expecting if he gets the 80-minute roll season long, he could average 50 to 55, if not more, if the Knights keep on a roll like last year. I'm high on Dylan Lucas. He's in my team. Comment if he's in your team and if you're thinking about him if he's not. Now, Roosters, look, James Tedesco. Why is he the standout performer for me? I know the Manly team was packing a bit of a reserve grade side, but what I liked about Teddy was 200 meters. Now, when Teddy's running 200 meters, that means there's plenty of opportunity for offloads, tackle busts, line breaks. 49 points coming off preseason. This is the kind we spoke about Teddy before. If he comes out hot, he usually prolongs long kind of stretches of scores. If he's looking good over the preseason, get him in. Last time I checked, he was owned by less than 2% of people. He's as cheap as you'll ever find him since his rookie days. He is a big pod. If you got money to spend in the backs, get on Teddy. Great performance from him. The other Roosters boys, look, the forwards, it's just too many good forwards in that Roosters pack to pick out a standout. I think they'll share minutes. I think Teddy is the player to own at the Roosters this year. Watch for him to come out of the blocks fast. My boy Eels, Bailey Simonson, I was hot on him last year. He was 0.5% owned. I was one of the only guys who owned him. Me and Longy are hot on him this year. He comes out of the blocks with a 47-point performance in a badly beaten Eels side, missing a lot of their offensive weapons. Why we like him is dual position. He's priced at 34. He's shown he can run on for 45, 50 scores. He's even got a 70, 75 in him. He's a bit of a try scorer, but what I love about Simonson is his work rate. There was games last year where he was hitting 200-plus meters. That's what you want from a center. He could be this year's Farnworth. If the Eels look better than they did last year and they go back to the 2022 form, this guy could go to a 45-plus average. Yes, he's awkwardly priced, but if I'm buying anyone at 450 to 550K, this guy's my guy. I don't have him right now, but I know Longy's on him. He's a bit of an Eels stand. He's very one-eyed, but I'll take this from a non-biased view. Bailey Simon could be the guy. The only thing to watch out for is Morgan Harper's been recruited to the team, and he is a bit of a threat, but I suspect it's Bailey's spot to lose, and he's come out in preseason looking good. Rabbits and Dragons, and there's not too many fantasy implications for this game. I was actually going to skip this game altogether because Rabbits look strong. Dragons fielded almost a full-strength team and didn't even get close. I don't really like anyone at the Dragons this year. Their backs don't look great. Their middles are so-and-so. I think Jack DeBellin has a bit too much risk on him for minutes this year. But the one standout for this game is Sean Keppie. Now, Burgess boys are all kind of gone. Rabbits have a couple of middles to fill up. Yes, they've got Jai Arrow, Murray, who played big minutes. But Murray, you know, he can play on the edge a little bit. Arrow has been playing edge for a while now. Kepi could find himself in 40, 45-minute role. And what's changed for him compared to last year's, he's now running behind a forward pack who is on the move. He's going to be running one behind Murray, one behind Totola. He's going to get a lot of momentum. He could be a bit of a sneaky pick. Is he a fantasy recommendation from me? No, at 413K, I'm not going to touch him, but I can see why it'd be interesting. And I just needed one name from this list. Warriors and Tigers. Now, first of all, I would love to have Roger Tuivasa-Sheck in this, but he's a center and he's priced a bit awkwardly, so he's not a really fantasy riser for me. But as a football fan, loved watching Roger. Looked as crafty as ever, great footwork out in the edges, and defensively looked a beast. Cracked a few ribs open. Looking forward to round one with him and Sean Johnson running around. But the biggest riser for me is Mr. Ali here, 300K playing in the centers, all the talk so that he'll get that spot round one. If he's there round one, he's shown the ability to score fantasy-wise, mid-30s score this week. Last year played one game for about a 45-point score. Get him in 300K. If he's named round one, he will be my starting fullback or center. Hopefully he'll have the dual position, but he looked good on the weekend and all things are looking up for Ali. Now, Broncos. Look, I know they were playing a pretty weak Cowboys side and they had a pretty stacked pack, but Ben Takura, where are the Broncos getting these giants from? Like, Ben Takura had a great game. He's rising for fantasy. Now, I don't think he's going to get a spot round one. I'd be pretty surprised if he does. But this is kind of like Willison, one of those guys to look out for over the season. He could get a spot when there's an injury or over Origin. That's when you snap him up. But God damn, he looks good. He's definitely a man for the future. Keep an eye on him. Watch list him. He could be a guy for you when you need to cash someone out. Hey, maybe you've got Xavier Willison. He gets up to 500K. Ben Takura comes on and takes his spot because, you know, whatever reason, perfect cash out. Now, the last game here, look, Titans felt like had no first graders. So this is a bit of a hard one to judge. But Jack Bostock, 307K. A couple of people have been asking about him. He looked pretty good, 37 points, 13, 14 hit-ups. Look, it's really hard to see how he'll go against a proper first-grade team, but the signs are good. 307K, he's a cashy. Playing on the wing on the not the most elite attacking team, you know, I think with how many wing fullback cashies there are, I'm not going to start him, but if he has a performance like this in the second week of preseason challenge, I could be on him, but probably not. You know, I don't like my cheap wingers too much. They don't score too well unless they're, you know, big tackle busters. And even then, if you watch the Raiders game, look, Kotrich and these guys not putting the points on. Anyway, that's the big rises from every game of this weekend's preseason challenge week 1. We're going to be doing fallers as well, and our must-have cash cows. Keep an eye out for that. And we're going to be doing this all through the preseason because, you know, things change as the preseason goes on. But it's good being on, and I'll see you on the next video.